cut out there, I think.
Yeah, he cut out
Oh,
for me
Um,
as well.
Elon, one comment I wanted to ask you on Twitter, Elon specifically. The other day you tweeted about, if you were to step down as CEO, you'd stay on as head of software and servers. And from my perspective, I've been a Tesla investor since 2015, Elon, and my view of you at Tesla is that a lot of your excellence comes from your vision and your ability to delegate talent. So I guess my question to you would be, I'm not saying I'm in the school of thought of some people that believe that you're not working on Tesla and SpaceX. I believe that you are, and I think that people just have a misrepresentation by reading your feed that you're not. But that being said, why is it that you feel, I guess, at this juncture, that you can't delegate, a handful of talent that you trust, who share your vision,
You're
to run the
excellent.
Twitter side while you focus on some of the
The
bigger
glazing,
things elsewhere?
dude.
I'm just curious to hear your opinion on that.
Holy moly. You're
I
excellent.
mean, as I said at the beginning of the
Dude,
call,
people are riding
I had
Elon's
sort of
dick
a short-term,
for dear life. Like they're about to
month or
fall
so
off the
of
train
just
and fucking
getting
die on the
insane
tracks if
Twitter
they don't
costs
hold on
under
to that
control.
dick
Twitter would
and
just go flat
glaze
bankrupt.
it, dude.
So now that is basically almost entirely done.
Me lord!
And then I've got to make sure that the engine of engineering at
Yo,
Twitter is
holiness, me
working.
lord!
Otherwise, Twitter cannot develop new features. But in the grand scheme of things, the amount of actual cognitive load that Twitter represents is low. I mean, it is a much simpler problem than Tesla or SpaceX, obviously, by a country mile. But I would say it was like high cognitive load for about a month. At this point, it is a moderate cognitive load. A month from now, it'll be I think low. So and if I look back and say okay, what are actions that could have been taken? What was there something that I failed to do at Tesla that could have been done and would have improved our execution? I literally cannot think of a single thing.
Elon, can you talk
Yeah,
about?
this is really great to hear you say. I think a lot of investors have sort of wanted to hear you say that and just reaffirm that you're committed to Tesla. I think those of us who know you know that your commitment to Tesla hasn't changed, but the perception people see on the internet can be very skewed sometimes.
Elon, can you talk about the issues in China and outlook on SAR? I know, Tesla's been able to sell an increased penetration and market share in EVs for many years, but now that it's at a larger scale, global auto SAR was at 66.7 million units in 2021. US SAR is at 14.1 million. Outlooks for next year in the US and overseas are on the decline, and prices are also declining. Like you said, I agree, we're in an auto deflationary environment when it comes to prices.
Yes, objectively so. Yeah.
Can Tesla potentially, when it comes to unit sales, can Tesla continue to increase unit sales in this type of environment, or will it have to provide more incentives, or how are you planning to?
It's
this
hard to
macroeconomic
fucking.
environment
No
is
one
pretty
wants to be
challenging. How do you
contentious towards
plan
them.
to
Like it's
address
just
some of
annoying.
these issues that are outside of your control?
I'm just telling you, factually, if you since the vast majority of cars are bought on credit, the interest rates are a high real interest rate is literally just like increasing the price of the car. So in order to keep demand constant, you would have to therefore decrease the price of the car. It's the only that's if you want to keep demand constant, and if you want to increase demand, you have to decrease the price of the car further. Those are just this is like Econ 101 stuff. So that's the situation we have. It's kind of blown my mind that the Fed has raised rates so high. They're just dealing with old information, and it's like basically like the economy right now is like a car, driving around on a cliffside road, and the Fed is driving it by looking out the rear view mirror. In fact, it's not even looking out the rear view mirror. It's looking at a video taken out of the rear view mirror that's like 3 months old. So obviously, this is not a good way to drive a car in a windy cliff road. So they're just very old school and traditional, and I think we're in for a hard landing. That's based on Like I said, you have to think like, like for argument's sake, like
No one is even like
if you have a risk-free
duping
rate,
him with
like
a hard question, and he's
is
still flubbing.
higher than
How about
the
you
return on
landing
the
this
S&P,
fucking take, dude?
which obviously has fluctuations. Why would anyone have stock?
I mean, we're buying bonds. We're buying preferreds. We're, at 11, 12% yields. You can buy the T-Flow. Everyone on here, there's ETFs. They're floating rate instruments. You can easily earn, high single digits, double-digit return in very low-risk securities today. So I 100% agree with you. Why would you buy residual interest equity securities in risky companies? I 100% agree with your thought process. In an environment like this, now we don't expect rates to stay here forever, but it's a good question
Right.
everyone should ask themselves.
Yeah, I mean exactly, and so like probably what's going to happen, it sounds like based on the Fed signaling, is they'll increase rates by another 50 basis points next month, and then my guess is they'll again, I felt like I have a hotline to Jerome Powell. If somebody knows Jerome Powell, please tell him to stop raising interest rates. It was insane.
I feel like you could get him on the phone if you really wanted to.
I think so.
At this point.
Is he allowed to talk to me?
Sure.
Well, he doesn't have a Twitter account.
I'm pretty sure he's
Sure,
allowed to talk
good.
to you.
Talk to business leaders, totally.
Let's get this set up. Let's do it on Twitter Spaces. That would be a conversation.
That'd be sick.
Elon versus the Fed on
That'd be
Twitter.
sick.
Twitter's valuation
Yeah.
would pop on that too, right? You
That'd
get
be
a
sick,
whole
dude.
new batch of listeners.
Well, it's the whole market,
Yeah, we should get the Fed on and say, hey, let's get back to quantitative easing, actually.
Is the double whammy effect of, if you're looking at it,
Because my Tesla stock's not doing great.
rates will reduce the profitability of any company selling something that is dependent on the price of debt, because cars are bought with leases and loans. So people look at their monthly payment, and so you have basically a demand/profitability issue with higher interest rates, and then which then reduces profitability, obviously, and then in general the valuation of all equities drops with the increase in the real interest rate. That's the double whammy effect that I'm talking about. Now this will not last forever. They'll I don't know.
By the
they'll
way,
see okay, they've gone too far, and then start lowering the rate. And then it's a
I
question
posted my fit pick on
what rate do they lower the rate? How long does it take them to
on
get
the alt
rate back to
account.
something
If
sensible?
you want to see the full
Elon,
pick.
that point you made earlier about the raising, the higher rates, obviously making cars effectively more expensive. I agree with that. Obviously, it's a pretty basic notion, but I'm just curious, and we've talked.
Yeah, I
about
got the
this before,
slippies
and I know
on,
Gary has
whatever.
mentioned this before. What's your view on Tesla's path to the $30,000 vehicle or the next vehicle? I know you said that you guys had kind of tabled that last time you spoke about it. Have you guys brought that back up? Is it something you're considering again now, especially in this environment? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is not the forum to make product announcements, but we're obviously want to make more affordable cars. So, and the Tesla product pipeline is awesome. I think Tesla's got the most exciting product roadmap of any company on earth by far. So that's and the proof will be in the pudding. So,
hey, Elon, can I ask? I'm just connecting some of the previous points together. I'm a 10-year owner of Tesla and 10-year investor as well. Just connecting some of the previous points together. When I looked at the 08-09 inflation recession, in 07 in U.S. auto sales were at 16.5 million cars. 08 it went down to 13.1, and then 09 it went down to 10.4. So if you go from 07 to 09, there was like a 36% drawdown in U.S. I'm just looking at U.S. auto sales. And then you look at
Curry chicken time, boys.
What Tesla is projected to do this year in the U.S. in terms of EV as a percent of auto. It's going to grow 50% this year, go from 4.7% penetration of total auto to 7%, which is like a 50% jump in the U.S. And it's going to do about 100% jump in China year over year. So these are unbelievable growth numbers of EV as a percent of auto. And the thing I don't think we've layered in is that Tesla has increased prices, even with this inventory reduction the last couple of days. Like the Model Y, I think is still $19,000 higher than it was in the early part of Q4 2021. So long story short, if you overlay like, you know, Tesla's EV adoption growth and you overlay like what happened in the last recession, which was pretty gnarly, it feels like in the fact that prices have gone up so much and commodities have come down so much over the last, I wouldn't say so much, but commodities are starting to come down. How do you feel Tesla's positioned with all those factors in mind?
I think Tesla's positioned better than any other car company by far. And like I said, the fact that the vehicle is capable of autonomy with a software update is gigantic. It's a gigantic thing. No one else has that. So
yeah, totally. It's definitely working too, and doesn't
also,
kill people.
Starting from a position where our gross margins are.
When will people recognize it's a fucking scheme, dude?
Which gives us more room to lower them and maintain or increase.
It's literally a fucking scheme, so that they are valued as a tech company and not a car company. That's it.
Pretty picture in like a 2009 style recession? Of course not.
This would be an infinitely better Twitter space if Elon Musk joined it.
There's no human on earth, or me or anyone else who could change that.
Hey, Elon. I'm an emerging
real
guy in Africa.
Yeah, I want to jump in here quickly. I appreciate it. Elon, I want to throw you out there a quick question, and then I'll throw it over to Gav, and then I want to hear Gary if he has any thoughts. But Elon, we're on Twitter Spaces right now. Is Twitter Spaces something that's kind of core to you and Twitter and the long term of it? Is it important to you?
Twitter Spaces seems to be, Twitter Spaces, I think is a great forum for the public in general, and I think it's quite useful to get the message out. Obviously,
bro, that's the type of question you ask when you like have nothing else. You know what I mean? You have like nothing good to ask, so you just want to ask like anything at all to have your voice be heard.
Yeah, I would definitely echo.
All right, can I stir up some drama here? Because we've got Ross Gerber in the room, and Ross has been saying Elon's doing a shitty job. He's not there, and he wants to run for the board of directors. Ross, would you like to confront Elon right now while we're in this space?
Yeah,
for the audience's entertainment.
That's not what I've been saying at all. I'm probably one of the biggest fans of Elon of anybody here, and I'm super grateful for the effort and success that he's put into making Tesla successful in SpaceX. And all I want to know is what's going on. And that's all I've asked from the Tesla board too, is like, I just want to back at Tesla. I just miss you, Elon. Like I love Twitter and I love what you're doing with Twitter, and I support it 100%. And I've invested in it.
Bro, they're smoking on poles in here, dude. What the fuck? The entire forest is on fire with how much dick they're smoking.
We just want to know, like, what's the next move? Like,
we
how
can't
long
even
is this gonna
fucking
be?
do.
Like, how much more stock are you going to sell?
This is
These
just
are
pornography
that I think are fair to ask.
Yeah, I'm not selling any stock for, I don't know, I'd call it a minimum 18 to 24 months. So you can count on me like no stock sales till probably, I don't know, 2025 or something. I basically, was like, I needed to sort of sell some stock just to make sure like there's like powder dry that, to account for a worst case scenario.
Totally.
Yeah.
I
and
get
so
all
that's
that.
really it. Yeah.
But I want to buy the
but
stock.
I'm not selling any. Yeah.
It's like I just don't want to get whacked the next
Bro,
day.
I thought,
You know what I mean?
like, many of you probably
Yeah,
thought
fair
when
enough.
you watched Aiden Ross and Andrew Tate
I
together
certainly have my commitment that
that was the gayest thing you could have ever
experienced.
experienced. Some of you foolishly probably think sucking a penis is going to be the gay thing, okay? There is no harder dick riding than this, okay? No one has ever rode the dick harder than this.
I'm somewhat paranoid, having gone through 2 really intense recessions.
I totally understand that.
No shot.
That's great news.
This makes
Thanks
what
for making
Aiden
that
Ross.
statement.
This makes Aiden Ross like a
Can you
contentious
answer my
interviewer.
question, though? Like, as far as
Okay,
what you're
this
thinking
makes
as a
Aiden Ross and
timeline,
Andrew Tate
as
talking to
far
one
as,
another
when you're
look
gonna be
like
back
a
in Austin?
debate.
Yeah, I mean, I was back in Austin just last week, but Tesla's still primarily in the Bay Area, and I'm in the Bay Area.
Right.
I hadn't like literally, there's not a single important Tesla meeting that I've missed this entire time. So it's not like I'm totally missing in action. That's just not the case.
I agree,
like
but maybe it's the optics a little bit. That's kind of where I'm coming from. It's like
Sure.
It's like an optics thing, and like a lot of things you're doing on Twitter, I'm like super like it needed to be done. Like you know how I feel about the people who were running Twitter before, and I think you're doing a great job.
It's
with the product,
super needed to be done, dude.
too,
You're killing it.
It's not an easy task by any means, but I just think the perception is like, oh, he's doing this now and he's not doing that, and maybe the media is doing that, but it's just something you should be aware of, and that perception is a reality to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter is obviously like mega catnip. If you cross catnip with crack, that's what Twitter is. A catnip crack. So like any tiny little thing of Twitter is like front page news.
Does he have a gun to their head? Like, what's happening right now?
It's like we have like some.
This guy was literally fucking ripping him like aggressively. This is literally the difference. Like Twitter fingers turned, trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers is like the opposite. Like in space.
But it's not.
When he's like typing shit out, he's like a fucking, he's coming after his ass. But in the spaces, he's like, Elon, I love you. Your cock, it's so fucking, I'm famished. Please, serve me.
Can't think of anything. Right. So, and there was not a single important meeting that I missed. It's, we're making great progress on future product development. And it's really just like, I think, there's going to be some macro drama that's higher than people currently think, or higher than most people think. And it's hard to predict exactly. Economic prognostication is fraught with difficulty. But, if we do have another 2009 situation, that's the stock prices of everything is going to be lower, and then I think it's arguable that stock prices of anything that's bought with debt will like not a staple, like it's sort of it's like buying sort of food at the grocery store, people will still buy that, but things that are bought with debt, like basically housing and cars are going to be the two biggest,
right?
Are really going to just get disproportionately impacted. But then it's sort of but if you say, like, that's why I was trying to emphasize, like, but from a long-term standpoint, like, there's a natural economic cycle that happens, and frankly, we're overdue for a recession. It's like shocking that we haven't had like a serious recession since recession in any meaningful sense of the word since 2009. That's like 13 years. Like, wow. So this is like
love the system, by the way.
Just the way the economy works. Like,
very
you have
cool.
Up and down cycles, and it's just the way things go. So we're somewhat overdue for that. I mean, I was talking to Brett Johnson, who's the CFO of SpaceX, and he was telling me about when he was at Broadcom in 2000. And Broadcom was Broadcom's a good company making good products. It's not like Pets.com. So and I was like, yeah, it's pretty wild how when there's when there's panic in the stock market, like how much even high quality company stocks can drop. And he was like, yeah, when he was at Broadcom, the stock dropped 97%. I was like, wow, that's a lot. That subsequently recovered to, I think, above its previous all-time high. But when there's extreme panic in the markets, like, things can go to like ridiculous levels. I'm not saying that they will, but this is a thing that has happened in the past. that's why I've been very much encouraging people to avoid buying stock on margin, and just avoid margin debt, because you just don't know if there's going to be some panicky situation in the stock market.
Well, we got the panicky situation in the stock market before we got the recession, it seems. But it seems like the market is clearly pricing in what you're talking about, and I don't disagree with your viewpoint on Jerome Powell, and I would love to get him on a Twitter Spaces, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I also think that Tesla has a certain level of recession proofness, because buying a Tesla does cut your cost of living from an ICE vehicle. And I also think, and maybe you can confirm this, that your margins are probably...
He's trying to sell it so hard. Please buy Teslas. Please don't forget to buy a Tesla. Please.
Prices are decreasing, which can allow Tesla to lower prices to continue to sell more cars without hurting margins.
Yeah, good thing Elon.
I think Tesla.
Good thing Elon is avoiding margin debt.
What I think is an upcoming economic storm, maybe better than any company.
For sure.
But apart from like I said, if a company's like making like bread or something, they'll probably be they're like relatively recession proof. But compared to any company making large complex manufactured objects that are bought with debt, Tesla I think will do relatively better than anyone. But that doesn't. It's sort of like if you're a ship in the storm, even if you have a really great ship, you're still going to get bashed by the storm. So
yeah.
And there is with respect to cost structure somewhat of a lag effect, where the supply chain takes there's latency in the supply chain. So the supply chain takes...
I love this analogy because, like, Tesla is literally not a ship, even though it is a ship, but it can't fucking sail, and it's inconsistent in sailing. But everyone calls it a plane, and they think one day it's going to fly, so they're just, like, hoping that one day it will fly, so they just keep fucking pumping money into the ship.
Refining and processing in the last few months. What's been your, I guess, anecdotal view from Tesla's perspective into the end of this year on battery metals prices? And do you have a view on battery metals prices for next year as well? And any kind of commentary on how that's affected you, or any kind of strategy that Tesla's implementing to stay ahead of the battery metal pricing curve, if you will?
Yeah. So, again, I keep emphasizing like all these things need to be taken with a grain of salt, because I don't have like some.
Of course, yeah, I understand. We're asking you to speculate.
It's like if I had a perfect crystal ball, that'd be great, but I don't. The price of battery grade lithium is obviously insane, and it's constrained primarily at the lithium refining level, much more so than at the mining level, and that's why Tesla's building a lithium refinery in Corpus Christi. So is really to get out away from that choke point of, or diminish the lithium refining choke point. Like lithium is extremely common. It's everywhere, basically. It's not like oil. Like oil is much more localized and rarer than lithium. Lithium is basically everywhere.
Elon, on that facility you guys are looking to erect in Corpus, I've done a lot of work on lithium refining and processing, and I mean, typically those facilities, even with optimal CapEx, are taking a minimum of 7 years to get to maximum. So are you guys looking at a shorter timeline? Have you guys kind of broken that mold?
Yeah, I mean, 7 years is insane. We're at least, maybe we're deluded, but we're aiming to be have meaningful volume out of that refinery in like 2 years.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's wildly impressive. And then you guys, I'm sure you guys will make way on that. And is that the only project you guys have?
Yeah, it's impressive because it's probably not real. Okay, Elon lies all the time. Well, I mean, I don't even know anything about lithium mining or refining, but I know that Elon lies all the time.
That's like pretty obvious, because it's like there's a giant building on the other side of the Giga Texas factory. That giant building is the cathode refinery that we've been building. So,
awesome.
And that's obviously for nickel-based cathodes. So we're like, I think taking the steps that are necessary to enable, very high volume output of vehicles, electric vehicles, and stationary battery packs, and to reduce our dependence on the supply chain. So, I think we're making the smart strategic moves here.
It's pretty funny that he said we're building a giant building, so of course we couldn't be lying.
The total automotive demand, or especially electric vehicle demand next year, especially in China, where they make the most number of EVs. I think we probably see some.
Like he just said, I built a giant building. Clearly, I couldn't be fucking lying, dude, to you about how easily we can refine lithium.
Elon, on you
3.5 times faster than the current fucking pace.
When it comes to cars and autos and homes, the same applies to companies, right? If you think about Charter, for example.
I mean, I don't believe that the Stock Talk with Weekly is an expert in lithium refining, okay? I don't believe that either. Especially because of how quickly he buckled and turned around and said, first of all, he said lithium is everywhere, which if that was the case, then he wouldn't want to fucking do a coup in Bolivia.
Well, I mean,
okay.
We're actually, I'd say,
no one even thought about that as like a big problem.
Pretty close to the fastest rate that we can spend capital and not be wasteful. So we're not like saying, oh, let's not spend money on important long-term projects. Like I just mentioned, like the lithium refinery and the cathode refinery, which are important for long-term, high growth. So we are making these investments, and we...
lithium being everywhere is completely unimportant to the subject matter. It needs to be everywhere in high concentrations for you to be able to adequately mine it. Clearly, just because lithium is everywhere doesn't mean you can mine it everywhere. What the fuck are we having a conversation about? Holy shit, I don't even know enough about fucking lithium batteries, but I still understand that concept. What the fuck? It's literally like, dude, what do you mean every metal's everywhere? Oh yeah? Really? Okay.
But I think the smart move is we're coming into this recession. I think in a very strong position. Like we don't have any debt. We've got on the order of $20 billion of cash and cash equivalents, and that's a pretty great position to be going.
Yeah, he said lithium is everywhere, bro. Your phone has lithium.
but I think we want to make sure that let's just see how stormy are these waters, and are we talking about a mild recession, moderate recession, severe recession? We don't know yet. So I think it's not like we just want to keep our powder dry and see what kind of economic environment are we going to see in 2023. The board is very open to doing a buyback, but I think it's we just want to.
Riz and Scotty Boy, they give me the 5 good subs.
And then discover that the recession is I don't know, for argument's sake, worse than 2009. And I'm like, that was foolish to have used up cash reserves for a buyback in the face of a severe recession. So we just need to kind of see what is the nature of the recession, and then if it's looking like, hey, we're doing okay from a cash standpoint, and the stock price is absurdly low, then at least my vote on the board would be to sort of do a buyback. But that's that's subject to the rest of the board's opinion as well. But my vote would be to do a buyback if once we are able to properly calibrate the scale of the recession, and just make sure that Tesla is healthy and we're not spending cash reserves and putting the company at risk. That would be my concern.
On the Twitter
X
Tesla. Yeah,
sorry,
you want to go first? I'm popping after you.
Yeah, I mean, for people like me who love Tesla and love the products, it's just I'm really glad that Tesla got profitable when it did, because if it had to go through this storm when it was sort of where it was in 2018 or 2019, I mean, it might not have made it through it.
Yeah.
So it's, really to tremendous credit of the management that we've gotten to this place where we're profitable and we don't have to worry about Tesla going under with this storm. You have the startups like Rivian and Lucid who are just burning cash like crazy.
Yeah.
Terrible situation for them. The legacy automakers, they're not in a great situation.
Correct.
Tesla's launching FSD beta. They're doing pretty well overall. They're in a better position than pretty much any of their peers. And that's, I think, a huge credit to you and the rest of the Tesla team.
Let me tell you, the Tesla team is kicking ass. And, honestly,
it's kind of cool that Elon has, made orbiters around him into this, ecosystem that is thriving on its own, where, pretty much he can have a conversation like this. And, most of the people, including this guy who apparently follows me, are just, omega dick riders. You know what I mean? He just can go around and talk to, his own media. There's so much, Teslarati and all these, EV media bloggers that aren't even, real media or anything like that. And just basically cover everything about Tesla in a positive way. Almost, and not dissimilar, very similar, actually, to the way that, Andrew Tate has Hustlers University, a multi-level marketing scheme. And all of his fucking followers are making these massive TikToks, right? And part of the reality is, just like the fucking Elon Musk multi-level marketing scheme, the more you glaze up Elon, the more you have a financial incentive to glaze up Elon because your stock prices increase. So it is a very unique situation where Elon Musk is taken stan culture, government subsidies, mashed them together, and a cult of personality, and is utilizing a multi-level marketing scheme almost, or similar to a multi-level marketing scheme process to continue fucking blowing up.
That this could be a real synergy for Tesla, right? Who notoriously doesn't spend money on marketing and now has access to this incredible community. But of course, there's been work that has to go into Twitter. There's been a lot of restructuring there. Are there active synergies that you see or ways that you see these crossing over in the coming months or years to really supplement each other?
Well, I mean, Twitter, I and Tesla have long used Twitter, frankly, for free to advertise Tesla. So, my account and the Tesla account have been incredibly effective in building awareness of Tesla and actually driving demand. I think there probably are some synergies there, where Twitter can be helpful, perhaps even more helpful.
I like that he said he used to use Twitter for free.
It certainly has, yeah. So,
hey, Elon, is there a way to connect our Tesla profiles to our Twitter profiles and get it in the car?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we could.
Yeah, I think Twitter should be like the social graph of Tesla. I want to go in my nav system and say, okay, I want to meet up with Ross. So navigate us to this restaurant. We can see each other's location, that kind of thing.
And I can see all the other Tesla owners driving around me that want their visibility shared.
Bro, that sounds awful!
Through Twitter as the app.
Bro, that's live doxing, real-time location analyzer, Andy!
Have a Twitter app on Tesla.
Now that's fucking harmful. That's actually harmful privacy breach.
Supercharging. I was just supercharging actually a half an hour ago, and you just sit there,
Motherfucker, that's assassination coordinates right
Tesla's
there.
The biggest source of your wealth. When it comes to Twitter, I mean, these ideas are all great. These ideas are great. But does it make sense to have someone like, David Sachs come in and help you manage Twitter? And are there 3 candidates that you think would be really interesting to support you so that through this recession, the focus can be more on Tesla?
The focus will, let me be clear, the focus will absolutely be, Tesla just fundamentally is a far more complex beast than Twitter. So the things that are necessary to operate Twitter are just far fewer. It's a subset of Tesla complexity. Obviously, Twitter is it's got it's servers and software and phone apps and stuff, and it's it's at scale and stuff, but it is obviously it's the complexity is more than an order of magnitude lower than Tesla. So my attention will be primarily on Tesla, and I think I can still improve the Twitter product because I use it a lot. So in terms of guiding the product to become better and better, that's like kind of a natural thing since I have been using Twitter actively for since 2009. It's it's basically not that hard to know what things need to improve and then give that direction to the team and have it get it done. So yeah, it's I'm not trivializing Twitter, but it's just objectively it's like about maybe 10% of the complexity of Tesla. So
music to our ears. A lot of investors are so happy to hear you say that, and I think it
Yes.
helps a lot you coming on this space and talking to people.
Elon, I just want to ask you briefly about Tesla
Super appreciate
and
Super
the launch of Tesla electricity in Texas. I'm a Texas resident as well, so I think that's a pretty exciting additional vertical maybe for Tesla from the utility perspective. If you just wanted to comment briefly on Tesla electricity and that starting up, and
I've seen a lot of Tesla Elon dick riding in my day. Used to be one of these Tesla superfan types, and I've never heard anything this fucking insane, legendary bootlicking.
Sure. Well,
it's because they're not only stands,
to accelerate
they're stands with a financial incentive. It's the most dangerous type of stand-up. Okay?
Sustainable energy generation.
Meanwhile, my fucking stands, who have a financial incentive, constantly fucking cancel me. How the fuck is that working for me?
Stationary battery packs.
I hate it. You guys need to be more like Elon stands, motherfucker. What the fuck is this? The HasanAbi Clips Industrial Complex literally works in the exact opposite way that the Elon Musk complex works.
So, and I'd say like the demand.
Y'all fucking suck!
Large stationary battery packs, especially at the utility level, but also at the consumer level with Powerwall is like quasi-infinite. Like meaning like it's assuming the economics are compelling to utilities for and so like as long as like say a Tesla battery pack is cheaper all things considered than say a natural gas peaker plant, the demand is like gigantic.
And nobody's valuing that, are they? They're putting a value of 0 on it.
I haven't gotten a haircut yet.
I wouldn't put a value of 0 on it. It is like, I mean, I've said before, like
HasanAbi Enterprise, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. That's what I'm talking about.
1,000 plus gigawatt hours a year of battery packs, combined stationary and
stock stand account example,
and if not 2,000. So, it's big numbers. At some point, like
So hate Bozo, thank you for the 5 gifted.
Need to do this, like,
Timothy Champagne, thank you for the 5 gifted. I didn't mean like stands, give me fucking subs. I just meant like defend me on Twitter, like Elon Musk's Glazers
like,
do.
Dollars, you need to think of things in terms of tonnage. Like what tonnage of battery pack is needed. Like the fundamental rate limiter for humanity becoming self-sustaining from an energy standpoint is how many gigawatt hours per year of battery pack can you make? That fundamentally sets the rate at which humanity can transition to sustainable energy. Is how many batteries can you make per year? At the ton, what's the tonnage? In storage terms, how many thousands of gigawatt hours per year can humanity make? That's the faster that ramps, the faster one can get to a sustainable future. And our rough back of the envelope for transitioning civilization to a fully sustainable energy economy is around
Is he A-worded?
300
Bro, you can say autistic, dude.
capacity.
What the fuck? A-worded makes it sound so much worse.
Come up with different numbers, but it's not.
My man said, is he A-worded? You made it so much worse by saying that. And yes, the answer is he is autistic. Or faking like Elizabeth Holmes, please. Bro, he literally turned autism into a slur. Oh, that's crazy.
25 plus years now, so been through the thick and thin in the valley. So certainly it looks like we are heading to a tech jobs recession, if nothing else, and probably a white collar jobs recession, and certainly a significant pullback in tech. Do you think that data is going to, cause further contagion from top down at the highest income levels? And is the Fed going to see that and take that into account? Because clearly the overall jobs market is
that's kind of funny. A-worded. But certainly I can't get over this.
At the higher level.
What am I wearing? Good question.
Sorry, you blanked out there for a second. Can you repeat the question?
A fire fit.
Sorry about that. So I was just saying, to your earlier point about the Fed being behind the curve. We're not seeing, real jobs problem at the highest level within tech. The high-paying jobs are being lost at a furious pace. But
honestly, it's pretty fucking crazy that Elon Musk can just like sit in this Twitter space and single-handedly uplift the Tesla stock. It goes to show you that this entire thing is just fucking bullshit, okay? There's no fundamentals. There's nothing. He could just be like, I'm not interested. One, he says we're going to do stock buybacks when I have the opportunity to do so. And two, he said I'm not selling any more Tesla, which is a fucking lie, by the way, okay? It's all vibes, baby. And it's hilarious, especially because, like, one, he's lying, and two, most normal humans would have been like, oh, well, if he's the key man, then this shit sucks because he's a fucking idiot.
The data's got a lot of latency. And so then they're just making decisions with data that's really stale and not reflective of the current situation. That just means their reaction will be delayed. So they're raising rates more than they should, and then they'll probably take.
What do you mean, dude? I don't understand. I see nothing wrong with this.
That's based on the past track record.
I see nothing wrong with this.
That makes perfect sense with structural unemployment. I mean, there are a million jobs without open immigration that we can't just make out of. We can't fill out of thin air. So, I tend to agree with you that this tightening could last longer. And Musk, you're not the only one. I mean, they're the top hedge fund managers in the world. I mean, Tepper was on TV this morning. I've never seen the guy this depressed in the last 20 years. Wow. So,
bro, this is how it is. This is literally how it is. Like, he just fucking,
hey, QE1.
I'm up 3.5% since you started listening. Yeah, I mean, look, if everyone is fucking stupid, there's not really much you can do about it, right? Like, ultimately, this is part of the reason why. It's like very difficult to predict where the economy will go. It's difficult to predict the market because people are kind of stupid. So, no way a Twitch streamer just called the man who started SpaceX and Tesla an idiot. Well, I mean, you are precisely who I'm talking about when I say people are so stupid that, like, just not very good marketing was enough for you to think that Elon Musk started SpaceX and started Tesla when he simply bought Tesla and kicked off the co-founders, and SpaceX was basically fucking NASA. Like, he didn't start shit. He didn't invent anything, but, like, the reality is he's at least smart enough to dupe a lot of fucking normies into believing that. And he was able to do that for the most part. I'm not a fan of Elon Lamau. He's made major mistakes. Okay, so what are you saying then? Because, hey, I might be a fucking Twitch streamer, okay? But I'm not 44 billion in the pocket right now. Because if I was, a lot of you would understandably go, oh, what a fucking idiot Hasan is. Fuck you mean? Fuck you mean, dude? Also, I don't even say I'm smart. I'm a fucking idiot. The difference between me and Elon Musk is that, like, I recognize that I'm fucking stupid. He's got like insane amounts of Dunning-Kruger, I think, and a endless supply of glazers that are also financially tied to his product that will constantly guac 3,000 him anytime he feels fucking down, like this Twitter Spaces that we're watching.
It's sad for me to watch that happen, and so I've tried to speak out about that. You know, it doesn't really go anywhere, but I do worry also as a shareholder about, you know, are we alienating certain people, not just extreme left people, but just kind of in the middle folks like myself that, you know, it's just added in some politics and controversy that
oh, the host of the space is literally Tesla stock was just moved by something said in my spaces. There's never a day I thought I'd be able to say this. Yeah, exactly. Really fucking good market, dude. Really normal market, really good market, really smart.
Like I said, still have our shares.
So fucking smart, dude.
Still love driving our Teslas around, but I do.
Okay, I'm done with the fucking glazing, dude. I can't do this anymore. They're really fucking boring. And also, we're going to be watching JCS. We're going to be doing a duo Q JCS React alongside 100T Valkyrie. Okay, unlike yesterday, we will complete that. Okay, and as far as fucking voices moving stocks, I don't know what else to tell you about that I haven't told you already. It is insane that the system can fucking change with one person's statements, oftentimes abject lies. I thought the reason why the Tesla stock was crashing was because people started recognizing that Elon Musk was a fucking idiot. Turns out people can't even recognize the top of the hour ad break is upon us, and a 3-minute ad break is coming for them. And that they also can't recognize that they will no longer see those fucking ads as long as they subscribe. You know what I mean? For $5 or for free. Okay? No point gassing up Ray. She's never going to sign you for 100 Thieves. Brother, it's cute that you say that. I know I will never be able to join their Valorant roster, okay? I'm not good enough, okay? But also, why do you think I would want to join a team in general, other than for the memes? DJ Kento, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Viaz, thank you for the 6 gifted subs, allowing 11 people to no longer see the ads. I need a himbo, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. And Young Demon, thank you for the 3 gifted subs, allowing 8 people to no longer see the ads. Black Light Okami, thank you for the 5. Tinder Swindler, thank you for the 5. Another 10. You can get gifted a sub and therefore no longer see the ads either. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Buy Tesla puts. I'm not buying shit, bro. Okay? Because guess what? I also recognize that the stock market is full of fucking stupid people. Okay? Stupid people that will continue to keep glazing Elon until his fall from grace inevitably happens. Matt Squirrel, thank you for the 10 gifted subs as well. It's vibes based, and these cretins can't read a vibe. Well, it's also like, that's what makes it so volatile, right? The volatility also kind of comes from the fact that people are just like really stupid. Sometimes stupid people accidentally do the right thing. Like when the Tesla stock started dipping, okay? And then Elon turned around and was like, oh, it's only dipping. Scotty boy, 185. What the fuck? Thank you for the 50 gifted subs. And Jay Bin Paid, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. As well. But anyway, ultimately, what I was trying to say is, like, the stock market can sometimes make the right choice or the right move, okay, and realize, like, oh, wait, what the fuck are we doing here with this Tesla shit? This is absolutely bananas. And then Tesla sees a gigantic fucking drop. However, okay, that's not like clearly that is not something that people are that's not something that people are you know,